Hey everybody, wasn't really planning to do too many more of these types of intros, but I just wanted to let everybody know that from now on the text-to-speech will be stopped. I always knew that this was going to happen. I was really sort of hoping to make the new year out of it, but hey ho, these things happen. All the text-to-speech channels, I believe this has happened to, even though that you'll still see ads on the channel, just means YouTube will be taking the full 100% of it. Regarding tonight's video, it's actually narrated by a friend of mine. His name is Lee. It's his first time ever doing this, especially around D&D, so please be kind to him in the comments, and I hope you enjoy.
We were fighting the BEG. Me, a dread necromancer Tibbet, and my party member, the not-so-mega man. There were others, but they are not important. I am lying prone on the ground next to the BEG, and then the Mega Man XP charges forward. The BEG takes control of him and makes him swing a full-powered punch at me. He rolls a 1. The blow whiffs so hard that he spins around fully before his fist stops in the BEG's face, knocking him on his ass. We all laugh for a good few minutes. We just escaped from an aboleth. We escaped with only 2 of our players getting hurt. Rogue decides to make a sign next to the key of entrance saying, "Do not enter, aboleth inside." I, the Paladin, decide to bless it. I rolled a 1 on religion. Sign is now cursed. I guess it makes sense considering our characters are likely more than traumatized after encountering Cthulhu's bastard child. A couple days ago, I was DM a short combat one-shot for a friend in which he had to fight goblins. A goblin rolled a 1 on an attack and somehow snapped its own neck with his own club. I was DMing and someone jokingly rolled to laugh. I was serious when I said he would be sent to the underworld if he rolled a 1. He rolled a 1. Him and another PC were sucked into the underworld. The worst part was, they both left perfectly fine. They seduced a female dragon, got her business card, and they both left with legendary coconuts that inspire allies in battle when clanked together. This was my favourite time the DM assistant rolled a 1. We had a fight at level 1 with some mob in our starting town, and a guy who wanted to learn to play was getting to help control the guards that were coming, as the DM controlled the mobsters. Both us and the mob were losing to the guards, and I was concerned. No Eidolon, sent home earlier by damage, no spells, and no choice. As a halfling, I'm not exactly tall, so I kneeled and raised my hands up. "Just cuff me." The guard, the learning guy, talks with the DM a bit and decides to rough me up. So he swings with his club hard and rolls a 1. He immediately describes, instead of saying he rolled a 1, he knew it autofilled, that he swings true for a crit, as though he was aiming at the head of a 6-foot human. Then the guard just kinda looks down and shouts, "Stand still." The table erupted into laughter. It happened almost 10 years ago. We were level 1 and the enemy was down to the last surviving kobold. It was the kobold's turn. It rolled a 1. DM rolled to see if the kobold was able to catch his spear before it landed on his foot. Nat 1. Rolled to see if he hits himself in the foot on accident. Nat 20, max possible damage. The kobold had accidentally killed himself, and the players sitting around the table couldn't help but fall on the floor with laughter. Curse of Strahd. My Aasimar Oath of Vengeance Paladin charged forth to confront Strahd. DM, make a save against charm. Nat 1. Spend the whole next session trying to kill the rogue on Strahd's orders. Fortunately, he heard Strahd issue the command and was sneaky as fuck. Managed to save against the charm in time to bring him back from 2 failed death saves. I was DMing, lost mine of Fandalver. My players were going to Fandlin and they were out of food, so they decided to go hunting. Fighter 1 wanted to try to kill a sheep. He was hiding behind a rock and he said, "I want to throw my javelin to one of the sheeps." He rolled a 14. The sheep goes down. He goes to the sheep and it was almost dead. At the same time, Rogue was placing a trap close to him and the trap was made from sticks and ropes. The trap was meant for a rabbit, so the fighter tries to kill the sheep with a great axe. He rolled a 1, so he missed and hits Rogue's trap, and the trap's sticks hit her straight in the face. Then they start shouting to Equator. Then Fighter 2 stops them and says to calm down. So Rogue makes a new trap and Fighter 1 tries to kill the sheep again. He rolled a 1 again. Then he hits his toe with the great axe. Then he starts screaming and freaking out. Then the Rogue tries to kill it herself. She rolled a 1. She accidentally throws her dagger to Fighter 1's back and he goes unconscious. Rogue goes to help him and then Fighter 2 goes to kill the sheep with his sword himself. He rolled 3, he misses, then he just says, "Fuck it, take the sheep to our wagon," and the whole time we were laughing. My favourite rolled a 1 moment happened while I was DMing. In my campaign, to critically fail, you need to confirm the critical, to see if you majorly fuck up. The players were in a large, shabbily built building where there were a bunch of minor tribe leaders arguing over who got a new island. The adventurers cleared out of monsters. The argument got mildly violent between the leaders, so the fighter decided he would use his lance of lightning to create a lightning bolt to get everyone's attention. Natural 1, roll to confirm, natural 1. So he hits the main support of the building with his attack by accident, causing the building to collapse, killing the majority of people inside. In the aftermath, people were trying to figure out what's going on. The bard says that the lightning was an act of the gods to get their shit together and work together, natural 20. They now share the land, but our neutral good fighter has to live with the blood of dozens of innocents on his hands, and he is seen as somewhat of a hero to the people he harmed for getting the land and helping resolve the dispute. Our gnome Rogue once tried to pee on command. It's a long story, but I had him roll survival. He got a 1, so he crapped himself all over the floor of an inn. Trying to talk some guards off our back, I make a solid argument and DM makes me roll. 7. I have a lucky reroll. Got a 6 and a 3. Went for the last roll thinking, what are the odds? Flat 1. Oh boy, the salt was real that night. DM rolled a CHA save for an NPC cleric to resist the puppy dog eyes of my tiefling necromancer's fairy dragon companion. My character had been petrified by a beholder. Critical fail. So he cast Greater Restoration on this demon. I think it was actually the last roll of the campaign too. Was a DM once. I played with a few friends. One guy, barbarian, was an asshole that fucked stuff up for kicks. They get surprised by a bear in the woods and the asshole barbarian says, "I'll whip out my big dick and piss on it because bears have a great sense of smell." A couple of people rolled their eyes and he rolled the dice saying, "I'm gonna roll to see how big my dick is." Nat 1. Everyone laughs while he asks me, "How bad is it?" Because we all watch, if the Emperor had a text-to-speak device, YouTube that if you like Warhammer 40k, I asked, "Do you know what a clitoris is?" Also, he got close to the bear and whipped out his CM. Wiener. The bear got a free hit, crit that tore open the barbarian's chest while he pissed himself with his micro penis, thereby encapping him. He got helped up after he was laughed at. I was the DM running a game of Pathfinder. My best friend was playing a cleric, and in a fight the cleric went unconscious, negative HP. So while the rest of the party fought off the monsters, I had a goblin torchbearer that didn't have anything to do, and I thought I would take pity on the cleric. So I had the torchbearer, who normally didn't care much for anybody in the party, but he was paid decently, roll a heal check, and it came up a 1. I ruled that the goblin tied a tourniquet around the cleric's neck to stop the bleeding. Then every time the cleric's turn came up, I made gagging sounds at my best friend, who was annoyed as heck. Yes, the cleric survived, and from that instant the goblin torchbearer was given a level in rogue, and the demented character of Snap was born. The guy was an exercise in pranking and general idiocy. Never failed to get the party laughing. So the party rogue and paladin both have evasion, so naturally, given their high reflex saves, they used to request some fireball support from my wizard. That stopped very quickly when they never rolled above a 3 when I would nuke them. But it was cool. I was chaotic evil anyways, so I won either way. I had a history of nat 1 rolls, so I said my character was going to commit suicide on a roof, got a nat 1, fell off the roof, and stabbed a guard in the head with a knife my character was going to kill herself with. Hashtag win. First game ever. 4 nat 1s in my first ever combat. 1. One of my dual blades got stuck in the druid's desk when I missed. 2. The other blade slipped from my hand and into the central bonfire. 3. I slipped into said bonfire when I fished for the blade, used remaining movement to get out and abandoned both my swords. 4. The arrow I shot at the druid didn't hit him. Instead, for the DM's laughs, it one-shot the displacer based about 20 foot away through the eye. And that is how my half-drow Zuko clone slew a displacer beast at level 1. I still have that dice set and will only use it for that character. When I first started playing D&D, early on in our adventure, we had a party member who would always roll for seduction checks. Well, just because he could. He rolled to try and seduce a lizard woman, and promptly rolled a 1. We all imagined this as him just taking all his clothes off and pouncing. Well, lizard woman rolled a 20, and crit killed him with a well-placed slap. This happened at the end of our day, and our healer had used his heals. We were low-leveled. He had to create a new character, and needless to say, he doesn't roll for seduction checks anymore. Party of 7. I'm a monk. Everyone settled in around a campfire for the night. Most of my party fell asleep. I was keeping watch, so I climbed a tree next to the camp area. I rolled a natural 1 on balance while climbing out on a branch. I fell directly into the campfire below. Everybody woke up to me on fire and screaming in pain. Everyone thought we were under attack, and all attacked me at once. Probably one of my more worse character deaths.
Hi everybody, big thanks for making it to the end. Keeping this wee bit to the end of the video because obviously you made it this far. Unfortunately, that is the end of the text-to-speech on this channel. If I'm being honest, I'm a big fan of it and I honestly prefer it. And with 12,000 subs, I'm sure 90% of them would prefer it also. But if I really want to continue doing this, I do need to make a wee tiny bit of money. Not much, it is a part-time job, I do have a full-time job. So for the next few weeks until the monetization comes back, hopefully, the plan is to do 4 videos a week on average, one every other day. It's really just trying to get organised with voice actors, plan to change things a wee bit, but nothing too dramatic. And finally, not too big a fan of begging for subscribers, but I do really need them now and the views, so thank you very much for making it to the end. Cheers.